Marry me. This is Jen with Jenny Demonic. How's it going? So, have coffee with me this morning, and I was having a conversation with one of my clients, and sometimes I give some of my clients stuff that they can do on their own while they work with us. So we cast a spell, and the clients reach out and says, "Well, can I do something?" Oh, yeah, sure. This is what I'm about to teach you today. It is something that you can definitely do on your own. Actually, I'll tell you more. It's something that only you can do. So sometimes there are spells that only the person involved in the situation can do. Did you know that? And you'll find out soon why. But just know that these spells that only you can do, typically you activate them, but you do need the help of a professional. But you can do it on your own. Now, actually, you are the only one that can do this spell. What am I talking about? Sometimes we ask our clients to say a prayer while we cast or to burn a candle while we cast. Something that only they can do while we cast. It activates our spell and it also does something that the client can do and only the client can do. And there are a few spells that only you can do. And this is one of them. Ta-da! I hope that, yeah. I kept the label of the jar on purpose on. Why? Because this jar uses your own pee of the morning. So this is a crave me spell. Okay. Typically, you can order any type of obsession spell with us. Okay. The crave me spell is also, we have different versions of the crave me spell on our site. But if you want to activate it on your own, then only you can activate this. You can also do this only on your own. I can assure you that they work just fine, but they take a long time. Jar spells in general, they take a long time. This is why clients do this and typically come to us to cast something for a faster manifestation. But you can do this and see how long it takes you, or you can do this and come to us at the same time. The Crave Me spell is one of the oldest spells that are in circulation, and there are so many versions of it. I'm sure that you can see them on TikTok, you can see them on other videos on YouTube. There are some things that I honestly don't put in the jar, and other practitioners do. There are some things that I put in the jar, and some other practitioners don't. I test my work. And some of you who are watching this know because sometimes I pull one or two or three clients that are inactive and I ask them, would you be willing to test this spell for me? So I test my spells. And I know that this is a spell that works because it has been tested on several individuals. And it's a very, very old spell. What does this spell do? This spell is to get in their head. We do have a product on our site that is getting to his or her head that will probably act faster than this. And I encourage you to look at it. It's down here. I'll put it down here. But this is also for somebody who is in no contact to make them crave you, to keep them in to keep you in their mind, to be still thinking about you, to try to search on social media about you, all these things. And it can be done with very simple ingredients. And this one in particular Only you can do it because you only need your pee. Now, let's talk about it is stinky. I'm gonna open it. But let's talk about what you need here. You clearly need your own pee. Okay? So, unless you have a client that lives near you and brings you, and in California, we do this, by the way. And sometimes they bring to Diana their own things, and Diana performs. That's why Diana is so powerful. And then they do this, but we don't do this because we use the tempo and we use demonic entities. So typically we don't do this. This is for you to activate the spell. This is for you to try out the Crave Me spell. So you need your own P. Okay. Some people think that the first P of the morning is the best. I agree. Get the earliest P of the morning that you can get. Put it in a baby food jar. The first thing that you're gonna put in there is the one leaf of laurel. One laurel leaf. How do you call this? My English is starting to wear out. But you see what I have. One basil leaf, basil, because this is basilic. That's also another thing that you need. I haven't had enough coffee this morning. Please bear with me. And it's 110 degrees outside. So you're gonna put this one in here, and if it's too big, you're just gonna fold it, okay? You don't have to do anything, but I typically put one in there after the morning pee. Why? Because basil represents success, successful outcomes, something that goes your way. And I like to always include in my jar something that reminds the universe or the entity that I'm working with of a successful outcome. So put it in there, but it's already in there, okay? The petition is already in there, but we're going to do one together so you know what needs to be there. So you're going to write, this is where some of the casters and myself probably disagree, because if you look at other Crave Me spells or Obsession Jar spell, they only put the name of the target, be it a female or a male. Uh, some put their date of birth, some don't put their date of birth. If you don't have their date of birth, it's fine, you just put their name. But I typically put both. Both you and the target. And then I circle it 3 times. Okay? It's supposed to be a perfect circle of the universe to bring things together, particularly if you're no contact. Now, this is a dummy petition as the name of him, assuming that the target is a male. Okay, if the target is a female, you put the name first. So his name or the target's name, the target's date of birth, if you have it, and your name and your date of birth. And you can see that here I used Jane Doe, John Doe, and then you circle it 3 times with a red pen. It doesn't really have to be a perfect circle. Now, at the end, you'll see a shocker at the end of the video, something that will throw you off the loop. But for now, stay with me. So you're going to put your name and your target's name on the top because you want the target to come to your life, re-enter your life, come to you. You circle both names. Now you have a petition on a brown piece of paper. Some people like to put, and it's up to you, I'll give you all the options. I typically don't, but if you have a little bit of hair of yours, say, you put your hair here, let's say, a little bit of hair. If you have a little bit of his hair, you can put it here, okay? You don't have to, but some people do, like the traditional hoodoo They typically do. But I've had plenty of amazing results without putting hair or nails in there, just with the pee. Okay? This is also this also helps people to do what you say. The urine of a human, of any mammals really, have a domination scent to it, a domination trait to it. Think of it as of a dog, right? When you walk your dog out in the neighborhood, what does the dog do? He pees, right? He pees on the trees. He doesn't just pee because he needs to pee. Your dog is marking territory. Cats do the same thing, with their own litter box. So urination has to do with marking your territory. When you're putting a petition of a target inside your pee, inside the jar, you're basically telling everybody, every demon, every angel, every spirit in the universe, this person is mine. That's what you're telling. Okay? So you're gonna put the petition, then you're gonna grab some honey, okay? And you're going to put the honey on his name. I would just put it on his name, okay? Then you grab a little bit of sugar. Sugar and honey are to sweeten this person, and that is, whoa, we put a lot. And that is true when the person is not responsive to you, when the person is stubborn, when the person is not making contact with you, when you're in no contact with the person. Now you're gonna add a little bit of cinnamon powder. There you go. And then you're gonna add a little bit of basilic. So the difference between basil and basilic, okay? So basil goes inside and basilic goes on the petition, but then will also go somewhere else, and I'll show you in a minute. So now you can recite the intranquil prayer. You can ask me for the intranquil prayer. You hold this 3 times. Don't worry about the spillover. And clockwise, right there. So now you're gonna put this in here. Okay, there's already one in here, so I'm not gonna put this. This is to show you how to create a loaded petition, okay, that goes into the jar. The first thing that you're going to put in the jar is a leaf of basil. Just put it in there, okay? Then you're gonna put this petition. Now we're gonna open this stinky jar. Clean this really quickly. Whoops, let's do that. All right. So let's open this stinky jar. And obviously, we are going to just concentrate and give the blessing to the jar. So you're going to say, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, I bless this jar. This jar now represents, and you say the name and last name of your target and yourself. And then you say the name of your target. Whatever happens into this jar will happen to you in real life. Amen. You bless this jar. Why? Because this is just a jar. These are objects. You're putting power into the jar. Now you're going to grab sugar and lots of it. Because we want this person that you either trying to return to you or that you trying to uh, crave you. You want this person to really be sweet to you. And any conflict that you had with this person, any avoidance that this person had towards you, they should all be disappearing. Because this person has no business in being mean to you. Because you're the love of their life. Now you're gonna put honey and a bond, because honey is a conductor of sweetness, right? So you want this person again to think, oh, maybe I was too harsh on Jane. I stopped talking too soon to Jane. I should have talked to Jane longer. See, I made a mistake. I went with all these other women, but Jane is the woman for me. How could I do this to Jane? There you go. You get the deal. Now you want to add cinnamon. Cinnamon is another very good conductor of love, but also success and money. So it might be that by adding cinnamon, you create a circumstance for you and your target to reunite. You create a circumstance where even if your target does not reach out to you personally, you might run into your target if you live in the same town. If you work together, that's why this is important with the success part. If you work together, you might find yourself at a conference. You might find yourself at the same meeting, at the same office at some point. There are so many variables. That's why I always advise my clients to add cinnamon, because cinnamon brings circumstances, brings success, brings money, and brings people in a place of money. You might even run into your target at the bank, for example, if you still if you are still one of those people that still uses a teller every once in a while, or in a financial institution. I had a client that ran into his target while shopping for a car at a car dealership. That's a financial institution. See, cinnamon. Now you're gonna add basilic. Basilic is for communication. It's something that makes somebody break no contact. Okay? So you are just going to seal all of this up, and then shake very lightly, thinking about the target reaching out to you. Now, this is what it should look like, okay? But that's not all. Now we're gonna do something that is gonna make you go like, what? This is, by the way, intermediate magic. This is typically something that someone who, if you're watching this video and you've never done anything like this, and you are wondering, oh, who is this lady? Hi, my name is Jenny. I own a website called jennydemonic.com, and we do a lot of interesting things, and I invite you to check out our work. This might not be something you want to do if you know nothing about this, but, for the heck of it, just follow along. This is the thing that probably doesn't make sense to you. And I can see some questions coming. Jen, if this is love work, because it is, why are we using a black candle to seal it? Because this is domination work. You not only want this person for love, you want this is a person that avoided you, this is a person that ran away from you, this is most likely a person that's giving you the on and off, a person that's being inconsistent with you, a person that you need to dominate, hence the urine. So yeah, you are going to absolutely seal this with a black candle. And so this is where the thing that you need to see here, because you're going to go clockwise around the candle with a black candle. On top of that, fun work, isn't it? And while I do this, because this takes a while, as you can imagine, while I do this, I'm going to tell you that we have some interesting new spells that I think you should try along with this, because this thing that I'm showing you probably might take 6-8 months if you've done it correctly, sometimes even more. So spell jars are not the fastest, but they are very interesting. And once they take on, they're almost permanent, unless you take the stuff out of the jar, you know. So if you've done it correctly, this might be the guy that will be around you for the rest of your life in one way or another. Make sure you want this person because this is really not a game. But but they do take a long time. Some clients say 1, 2 years. Sometimes they forget they have this jar. Sometimes they toss the jar and they think it didn't work, and then the guy comes back apologetic, crazy and obsessed. And at that point, most of you probably don't even remember the name of the guy, but that's how it is. So you go clockwise, and you go from the external edge, right, all the way inside. You see what I'm doing? Welcome to Spellcasting 102. So then you keep sealing it, thinking primarily of the target coming to you, right? With the black candle, because this nice guy, because I cannot say bad words, is most of the time somebody that decided to just avoid you. 1 minute he wanted you, another minute he didn't want you, and so on and so forth. So that's why you do this way, okay? Because this is not fast, I do recommend that you look into. We have go on to Jenny Demonic and look into the graveyard spirit tab, because these then they get buried by a graveyard of the philanderer typically. So that's something that you probably, as a newcomer, would not know what a graveyard of a philanderer is. You can search that, but even if you go to the cemetery, you probably are not gonna know who was a philanderer during their life, or not. So that's why, there are experienced casters that do this, right? So there you go. Isn't that beautiful? While I let it burn. So, but this typically you should keep it under your bed. And if that is not possible, see, this could be blocks that are coming out of this situation. If that is not possible, I will keep it in the darkest spot of your closet for at least 6 weeks. So this is why it's just really, really a lot of work that a lot of clients says, Jenny, I'm just gonna pay you, please do that. But you can still do it, because remember, you are the only one who has your urine. We don't, unless you bring it to us. And sometimes I think we just rather teach clients to do that. So, if you go on to Jenny Demonic and you go on to the Graveyard Spirit tab, you will see that we have a pressing spirit. You will see that there is a waning moon torment within tranquil. You will see that there is the get into his or her head. You will see that there is a magnetic bring them to you. Those are very, very powerful, fast. They give you some movement right away while you wait for this to do its course. But I think it's interesting for you to know, because number one, you it gives you control over what you can do. You can even do this if the guy lives with you, as long as he doesn't see the jar. And if this guy is your neighbor, I'm talking about a guy, but it could very well be a girl. If this guy is your neighbor, do the jar and then keep it by where he walks. Maybe you have a pot of plants. Keep it inside the pot of the plant, and the plant maybe is in front of the door. I've had clients that became very creative with a lot of things. But this is It will become powerful over the course of a year or two. Okay? You might not think about that guy anymore, but that guy will keep thinking about you. Don't come crawling to me when he comes crawling to you. All right? All right. This is Jen with Jen the Demonic, and I think I told you everything. We still have a 4th of July month sale that will be going on until I don't know when, probably. I'm so uninvolved with what is going on my site these days. Probably until the end of July. But take advantage of it because I don't know what we're gonna have after. Okay, it's always, because there's so many of us, it's always a matter of finding an agreement on the sale. Anyhow, this is Jen with Jenny Demonic. Bye.